G'day fellas, and welcome to the very first game of the PUP. This is the PUP, the public update preview, and this is the future of Age of Empires 4. This patch will be going live sometime in the near future, most likely after Season 3 has finished. And of course, we'll be documenting every little change along the way to see how it goes. But before we talk about any of the changes, let me introduce you to our first player today. Playing in the pink trunks as the Holy Roman Empire, it's Mr. Merlin. I'll leave a link in the description to where you can catch his YouTube page. He is a content creator, and he's a pretty good guy as well. Nice little voice, nice microphone. I'll say that much about him. So go check him out. He's going to be playing the Holy Roman Empire here today, and I'm excited to see the changes because we've got the Minework Palace, and I suspect we might see some usage. Though, to be fair, he's got a pretty good Archon right here. It should be able to hit all three of these resources, so we might not see it. It's quite a good little opening here for him as well. Very smart in moving the Prelate in between the gold mine and the sheep. 10 out of 10, Mr. Merlin. On the other side of the map, though, playing in the teal trunks as the English. Many updates, many upgrades have come through for the English in this patch. It's Crackety here. Look at that little ram he's got going there as well. Beautiful little diamond ram. Love to see it. I'll be leaving a link in the description to where you can catch Crackety here live over on Twitch. He's also a content creator. He's from Germany. He's a pretty cool guy. He's a pretty cool guy. But before we go any further in this game, a quick little word about our Patreon. Are you keen to get better at Age of Empires 4? Are you interested in watching someone else get coached or getting some one-on-one coaching for yourself? If so, check out the Patreon, where you can find dozens of coaching videos where I personally guide players through the process of improvement, with new videos being added every single week. With coaching for all skill levels and for all civilizations, there's something for everyone. Now, when it comes to my credentials, while I might not be the Red Bull Wallalol champion, I'm still a pretty decent skill level, sitting at the Conqueror 3 ranking for 1v1. So if you are interested in some coaching, make sure you check out the Patreon. I'll leave a link in the description. Now let's get back to the action. So there have been plenty of changes in the most recent patch. But most importantly, there is a big change to the English, which I personally think is going to take them to S+ tier. I genuinely think the English will be the most banned civ in this next patch. I think it's by far going to be the most played civ. I think at the moment, it's got about 28 to 29% representation in ranked play. I suspect that's probably going to rise even further, maybe even, pushing towards that 40% mark. And that changes to the Council Hall. So at the moment, the way that the Council Hall works is that it acts as an archery range, except it only gives you the bonuses of the longbowmen. So it only allows you to train the longbows, only allows you to get veterancy on the longbows and elite status on the longbows. You can't make hand cannoneers, you can't make crossbows. But the change that they've brought in the most recent patch allows you to do that. But that's not even going to matter. You want to know why? Because we're not even seeing it today. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the Abbey of Kings that is going to be coming down. Now, this landmark has also received changes. Most notably, this landmark now can crown a king, which can go out onto the map and can begin to harass the enemy, but most importantly has a healing aura. And that healing aura is going to enable you to, well, get this, heal units. So it basically takes the Abbey of Kings and that healing aura that it's got around it, and then takes that out into the middle of the map and allows you to have it there. Now, it's not as strong as the Abbey of Kings, so you're still going to get value from the Abbey of Kings, but it does allow you to have that king. Now, I understand that a knight is, or rather, I understand that a king is around the same strength as a knight, so I'm looking forward to seeing if any damage can be done early on in the game by Crackety. So we'll read what it says now. So it heals all nearby friendly units that are out of combat by 6 every second. Every 1.0 seconds. It may also crown a king, a powerful cavalry leader with an out-of-combat healing aura. So there you go. We'll check in over on Crackety, or on Mr. Merlin rather, because there's also been some changes to the Holy Roman Empire, most notably to the Minework Palace. And the Minework Palace has received pretty big buffs. The way I like to think about it is that if you've got a good Archon Chapel, you're still going to go for the Archon Chapel. It's a great landmark. But if you don't have a, if you don't have a super duper good Archon Chapel, then it's all hands on board for the Minework Palace. And one of the reasons why is because of the new technologies. Now, 2 new technologies have been added to the Minework Palace. One of them is kind of like a reused technology that we'd seen previously. So that was the I can't remember the name, but it basically gave spearmen a little bit of extra armor. So now it gives spearmen and horsemen an extra armor, or extra 2 armor, but it's available in the feudal age, which is pretty cool because before it was available in the castle age. But we do now see across the map. There's the king, ladies and gentlemen. The king has arrived. Watch out. He's coming. The king is here. You know we got to get a picture of this bad boy right here. Now, apparently this guy doesn't have a charge. He's just a man on a horse with a big sword. Look at that. Look at that right there. Oh, you know it. Oh, that is gorgeous. That is beautiful stuff. All right, let's bring that UI back in. So the king is here. Let's take a little bit of a look at the stats. So we've got 16 great sword damage, 24 lance damage. So he does have a lance apparently. There's the lance. He does have a charge. It's not as strong though. 1 hit, 2 hits gonna come in, 3 hits. Prelate comes in to heal, not gonna be enough. And now chasing after the prelate. Beautiful aggression coming in, 5 minutes 20. And already we start to see that suspected aggression that we did think we were going to be seeing from the Abbey of King's landmark. So this is giving you an option here. Now we see the cavalry coming out from the English. I tell you right now, this is what excites me most about the English. For anybody who missed the memo, I'm now an English main. I'm going to be playing English exclusively once I get back into ranked, or maybe even if I play a couple of pub games, I'll be playing English exclusively. And this is part of the reason is just because of how many options they've got. And guess what? English just got another option. They've just got options out the wazoo. And now we see Mr. Merlin, who was going to be going for a second town center, getting completely denied. He's going to have to drop down a barracks. He's going to have to completely change the program. I say that as he's dropping down a second mining camp on the stone outcropping towards the North Crackety. Not going to be finding that one. Just a little bit of a little bit of misuse here. Now, he does have a bit of extra health, but the armor is a bit lacking, 2 and 2. So it's going to be harder to dive underneath the town center, but I wonder what the movement speed is. It 1.6 or 1.69? So a little bit faster than a knight, a standard knight. But he does get the resources now to drop down to the second town center. So Mr. Merlin going to be playing, I think, a pretty good style. I like this style. I think if there's a way that going forward that the Holy Roman Empire will be played, it's 2TC mine work. And here we can see the new techs. Let's take a look at them. So the very first one we're going to have is riveted chainmail. So there it is there. And look how cheap it is. Remember that the Minework Palace acts as a blacksmith and also reduces the cost as well as the training time. Oh, Mr. Merlin, you're very bold. Very, very bold. I suspect he's going to have spearmen on the way. He sees the king on the north side. Mr. Merlin is asking for a world of hurt over here, and the scout's even out here. Just, yeah, Mr. Merlin, just put it down in your base, Mr. Merlin. It's not a big deal, buddy. But see, this is the thing, right? Because normally we'd be like, it's fine because you've got the Arkan Chapel and you can just drop farms around it. Well, he can't drop the farms around the Arkan Chapel anymore because he doesn't have an Arkan Chapel. He's got a mine work. So that's the first thing that's coming in. Riveted chainmail. And we see him actually getting this upgrade super early. An extra 2 melee armor for spearmen and for horsemen. There it is. There's the spearman. He's looking to try and come in here. We'll actually spot out the king. And then at the same time, onto the backside, the horsemen going to be running in. Remember, these guys have got their extra armor. Still not through just yet. Where's that riveted chainmail? We need that sooner. There it is. Finally coming in. Got to be able to help out a huge amount against these horsemen. Basically takes their attacks from 9 down to 7. Villagers getting in on the action as well. More spearmen being rallied in. Town center going to get cancelled. And Mr. Merlin running away with his tail between his legs. The prelate also going to be going down, a heavy loss right there. The king almost going down, an expensive loss potentially right there. We take a look at the Abbey of Kings just to see how much it costs. It's 150, I think. Yeah, 150. So this is a big bad boy right here. You don't want to let this guy die. But at the same time, he can come back. Look at the value. Look at the value he's going to get from this. And finally, Mr. Merlin makes the right decision 2 minutes later into the game. And look at this. This right here. This is what the new option of the Abbey of the Kings is, because he's got the aura, but it doesn't affect himself. So the king's going to have to come back and take a look at this. Take a look at my Abbey. She's no longer a meme. And now it's healing. It's healing. Look at this heal. And it's extended out. So the Abbey of Kings now heals the king as well. So this king is going to be getting huge value. Look at that. Oh my god, that is glorious, isn't it? If that ain't going on the thumbnail, I don't know what is. That is a king right there, my friends. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see the new wave of hero units that are coming in. Obviously, the Khan's getting some big buffs up as well. But that is the king right there. He's looking absolutely amazing. And look at that heal. 6, 6, 6. He'll be back on the field in another 20 seconds. At the same time, the horsemen, they're getting their work put out for them. They're doing their stuff. So second town center comes down, and now Mr. Merlin going to be moving into a stable here. I suspect going to be expecting his enemy to be moving into archers or longbows, but we don't actually see any sign of longbows. So really looking to mix up the meta. You know, it's so wild watching English play cavalry. It's just something you really don't expect. Now, I should also just clarify at this point. So Mr. Merlin ranked, I think, in the top 500. Not 100% sure on that one. But Crackety here obviously ranked top 30. So he is a very, very good player compared to Mr. Merlin. Obviously, Mr. Merlin doesn't get to play as much as Crackety here does. So, you know, there's always something to be said. Just remember, whenever you've got good players. Now, interestingly, the aura doesn't actually get the healing, the healing little sign. It just kind of makes them glow. So you don't get to see the little pluses the same way that you would for the French. But yeah, just remember that if someone is not as good as somebody else, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're bad at the game. It just means they haven't played as much at the game. That's something I'm trying to use to cope myself. But anyway, Spearman now going to be moving across. Looks like Mr. Merlin may have identified the wrong hole. And instead, now Town Center going to be looking to fire down. Remember, the Abbey of Kings not going, or the King rather, not going to be healing up these units because they are in combat. He's going to have to wait for them to leave combat, and then they're going to be free. So now they're going to be, now he's going to be able to get some value out of this heal. This is actually legit. This is really good, really cool. And there's so much synergy with this landmark and the concept of cavalry for the English. Because remember, English love to make farms. The problem is you make too many farms and now you're floating thousands of food and you're wondering, what am I going to do with all this food? Well, guess what? Oh, look, now it's actually giving the little plus sign. Okay, that's good. That's good. So that's nice to see. Well, the answer to what you're going to do with all this food is you're going to make horsemen, 100 food and only 20 wood. And of course, you're going to be looking to pick up wheelbarrow and that early horticulture eventually. So that's going to further synergize with that. And now look at this, just doing damage. Oh, he's very cheeky, isn't he? Super cheeky. He's going to get that farm thrown down as well. We'll switch it over to the income per minute. Villager count pretty even at the moment. Crackety actually got a lead of 3, despite 2 TCs for his enemy. He's only taken out 1 villager so far, so it's just going to be probably coming down to idle time. But Mr. Merlin doing a decent job on the defensive, and I suspect he might be looking to move into knights. Now, speaking of knights, this is where the next technology comes in for the Holy Roman Empire. They've got access to steel barding, a brand new technology which grants knights an extra 2 melee and 2 ranged armor. You can't believe how big this is. This is huge. And no way. No way. The horseman coming in right now. He's only got ranged armor. He's going to be fighting against these spears. These guys have got their riveted chainmail. The spearmen should be doing a pretty decent job here, managing to hold their own. But remember, they're actually get. Jeez. All right, I take it all back. I guess that's a lot of horsemen, isn't it? You got to remember that the king's in there as well. He's doing extra damage, so he's got that 16 damage on the great sword. His attack's pretty slow though. 2.38 seconds. Compared to the 1.75. So it's quite slow. But now, Mr. Merlin really looking to take advantage of that riveted chainmail with the extra 2 armor. Fitted leatherwork also going to be coming through right now for Mr. Merlin. So that's going to go up to +3. Now we're talking, Mr. Merlin. +3 melee armor. Compared that over to his opponent who's got no melee armor at all. And he's going to be running away. Look at this. Crackety here giving it up. But at the same time, look at that. Crackety here. He's going to be going. I suspect we're probably going to see the King's Palace coming down. But there's no way to know. There's no way to know. That's one of the things, right? We've got the other landmark. The White Tower has also been buffed as well. So we might see them. But to be fair, both of them have been buffed. King's Palace now going to come down 5,000 health on this bad boy. It used to have 2,500. Now it's got 5,000, just like a normal landmark. So very nice change there as well. But just one of the few things that I believe are going to be sending the English to the S+ tier this patch. Farms getting thrown down slowly but steadily. Now, one of the things to note is we don't have an Archon Chapel. So the economy here for Mr. Merlin is not going to be as centralized, and it's not going to be as gifted, I guess you could say. One thing to note is that we don't have any prelates coming out either for Mr. Merlin, and we would really love to have prelates coming out now. A little bit of idle time on the town center as well. I think this is just the consequence of delaying that town center. He delayed the town center for about 2 minutes, which delays 6 villagers from coming out. Now going for the mid-map walls, but still, I feel like might not be focused on the target. Instead, it looks like the Castle Age about to come through right now for Crackety here. He's looking to actually take a fight as Castle Age happens. Very, very bold of him to do that because Veterancy should be coming through any second for him. We see Wheelbarrow getting researched. Veterancy going to be on the way for these horsemen. I love seeing the King in there as well with it. And now going to be turning their focus towards that outpost. Outpost going to be under pressure. Looks like I might need to go into my settings and turn on a few of these health bars because that one I couldn't actually see. More units coming across the map now. +3 melee armor, +1 melee attack. Huge amount of upgrades here coming through from that Minework Palace. Very well done by Merlin. And for some reason, he's used emergency repairs on the town center at the front of his base. I'm not sure exactly why, but now Horsemen going to be coming through. Veterancy still not coming through for Crackety here. Going to be instead moving through to armor cladding. Armor cladding is going to be buffing up men-at-arms, and he is now switching to men-at-arms. But now we can see he's looking to focus down that town center. So there you go, looking to really snipe out this town center. He's almost just sacrificing his units to do this. King going to fall back as well as the army. And Mr. Merlin having a nice little cleanup right here. So not a bad outcome for him. Does manage to even it up, but still the villager count is really what's worrying for me. So Mr. Merlin, unfortunately, still not managing to pull ahead with that villager count. Now Crackety, oh my lord, look at Crackety's economy. And this is the great thing about that earlier synergy that we were talking about, right? Because before, you know, what do you spend all your food on? Well, the answer is horsemen. Now, previously, you didn't make horsemen in the feudal age because, well, you had no incentive to, right? Like, you wanted to make longbows because the council hall's the only good landmark. Well, now, all of a sudden, the Abbey of Kings is a good landmark as well, and you've set up this huge food economy, and what am I going to do with this massive food economy? I'm going to turn this, and I'm going to convert it from horsemen into men-at-arms production, and that's exactly what we see. Men-at-arms rolling off the blocks with 3 extra armor on top of their 4 armor. These guys are not to be messed with, that is for sure. Merlin trying to get to Castle Age, needs to get up ASAP, but unfortunately, it looks like it might be a bit of a death timing push right here for Crackety. Coming in underneath the town center, he's looking to try and fight it out. Should be able to idle him up here. You can see how much damage those spears are doing. Almost one-shotting that horseman right there. Horseman still yet to see the veterancy upgrade. And now we've got +2 ranged armor coming through for Crackety. Crackety very much anchoring towards the idea that ranged armor is the best upgrade. These town centers only do, I mean, they do 8 damage and then they do 6 damage. You 5 armor. You had 5 armor. You were maxing out your ranged armor here. Now you're going up to 8 ranged armor. That's 3 more than you need, mate. But we do see a market going to be thrown down here. He's trying to get up. Might need to sell some of this wood. Instead of converting it into farms, he's just gonna go the lazy route here. But the men-at-arms going to come through, and this looks like it might be a bit of a difficult spot here for Mr. Merlin, because he doesn't have access to crossbows. He doesn't have access to his own men-at-arms with their super-duper good upgrade. Obviously, he can make the men-at-arms in the feudal age, but they will lose out to the veteran or to the castle age men-at-arms because they've not only got that extra health, they've also got that extra armor because they're English. And he chases him around. He now goes into the Burgrave. Where is that Burgrave? Burgrave over on the deer patch, over towards the east side, still being idled out. 25 villagers inside. Losing villagers like crazy. He's down 15 villagers now, close to 20 villagers. Spearman managing to take out a fair bit of that cavalry, and I don't even think we've seen this king go down yet. He's up to 295 health. He's got a little bit of extra damage as well. He's loving life at the moment. Now, Mr. Merlin can hold, but he's going to need food to hold because he's going to need to be making units. And the problem is, I don't know if you guys have recognized it yet, his food economy is completely stalled out. So maybe this is a consequence of going for the Minework Palace. It could be, but the new age is upon us. Mr. Merlin ages up and begins to look to make crossbows, which is definitely the right choice. The problem is how easily his opponent can just simply go back into horsemen. 2 stables, ready to go. He's got everything that he needs. In fact, he's still got 3 horsemen out on the field. And 30 men-at-arms just going to be tearing through the base here of Mr. Merlin. You start to see upgrades coming through from Crackety. He's picking up his lumber preservation, his horticulture, and adding in another. Look at the amount of mills that he's got here and the amount of farms. He's up to 37 farms, and this is what I think is so underrated about the cavalry opening, is because it allows you to really transition into farms quite early on, and then you subsequently have a farm transition that's already there, and good game gets called. Men-at-arms obviously very strong here. Just a little bit slow on that timing from Mr. Merlin, but I'm confident he would have been able to hold had he got that town center down earlier. Fellas, go check out these 2 creators. I'll leave links in the description. Mr. Merlin streams in English. Crackety does as well. They're both amazing creators. Go say good day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching, and welcome to the pub.